Good everyone, welcome back to another vlog. We're going to do a ship tour of TS Flower. It's a Chinese built vessel, built in 2015, delivered in 2017. We're just sailing past Papua New Guinea, Bougainville, which I will show you shortly. Let's have a tour inside of the accommodation, engine room and outside. Show you what the food on board is like as well. It's a Chinese crew and also some Filipino, 4 Filipinos and the rest are Chinese. We're on board for a total of 20 days. We're on route to South Korea, Gunsan. Let's go have a look. So here are the ship's particulars. TS Flower, registered in the Marshall Islands. It was launched in 2015 and delivered in 2017, so quite a while. There's its call sign. It's a bulk carrier, handy size as they call it, and operated by Tiger Shipping out of Dalian in China. So yeah, it's a handy size bulk carrier, 182 meters overall in length. Current cargo is radiata pine from New Zealand. So this everything on top here will be delivered to South Korea and Gunsan, which I believe they use for paper manufacturing and other timber supplies. And in the bottom cargo holds, there's 5 in total, that'll be discharged in Lanshan in China. So yeah, we have 4 cranes on board. Let's go have a look at the bridge. Firefighting equipment like spraying water if there is a fire in the cargo holds or anywhere on board. S-band radar currently switched off. We have the wheel. Currently on autopilot though because we're sailing past, where are we currently? Bougainville, Papua New Guinea. A little bit hazy outside today. And we have third officer. Yo, been sailing for 8 years. There's one of the 4 Filipinos on board. We also have OS from the Philippines, the messman, and our wiper in the engine room from the Philippines, and the rest of the guys are Chinese. Let's take a further look at the bridge. Light controls, signals, etc. Light signals. VHF radio, the primary one. X-band radar for weather and vessels that you can't detect with AIS. Electronic charts. Ship uses Furuno equipment. Some ships use JRC. The telegraph to communicate with the engine room for power settings, etc. Telephone, intercom, some documents, etc. We have the MF/HF radio, Inmarsat, so we can communicate with land stations if there's any emergencies like distresses, etc. We actually had a distress call yesterday regarding a small ship that went missing or something by the Solomon Islands, but that was too far away from us. Computer, and another computer here too. And we have the planning station, route planning station. Paper charts for backup, and number 2 Ectus. Evening time they will usually close this curtain so they can continue doing paperwork here because the bridge needs to stay dark, otherwise your eyes have a hard time adapting. And that's the bridge tour. Let's go have a look at the rest of the vessel. Alright, first deck, sea deck. We have the captain's cabin here and a few others. Let's have a look at the officer's laundry. We have a washing machine and dryer. Some ropes to hang your washing. Alright, we've got the third officer's cabin. I believe we have the second officer's cabin here too. Also second and third engineer. We've got the captain's cabin, his day room. Around to the right is his bedroom, and to the left is a conference room for meetings. We've got 2 more cabins here. This one's being used as a spare at the moment. Don't remember which one that is. I think one of the engineers. clock. We've got the chief engineer's day room, and I believe his bedroom is around to the left, similar to the captain's cabin. Pilot's cabin to the right for when a pilot's on board for a few nights. Access to the balcony outside area. This is actually just outside my cabin. Let's have a look at my cabin. Apologies in advance, it is a little bit messy in there. I mean, I'm only on board for 20 days, but it's homely. Got my climbing gear for when I go out on deck, paperwork, the bathroom. And now we are on B deck. Chief officer's cabin is located here, and a few of the deck crew and engine room crew. Alright, that was B deck. Let's make our way down to A deck. Okay, now we're down on A deck. In the stairway, we've got the crew and officers' mess rooms and recreation rooms. Also the galley. And a few other cabins. Here's where the magic happens. Nice kitchen on board. Go to the officers' mess room. Chief cook and messman, Gunsan. So this is the officers' mess room and recreation room. Let's go outside again. Here we have the ship's office. Here at the moment, and not till we arrive at port, I don't think. This is like the cargo office. And we'll head down to the crew's dining room and recreation room. And here is the crew recreation room and dining space. What's for lunch today? We got vegetable soup and rice and steamed bread. There'll be more coming later, I'll show you shortly. But the chef on board makes really good food. Loves his job. Let's make our way down to the upper deck and check out the engine room. Alright, we're now in the engine control room, the office, where all the electrical controls are, circuit breakers, etc. Tea, coffee area, all the engine controls, gauges, etc. Monitoring equipment for engine status and generator status. It's quite warm in here at the moment. First we're going to have a look at the steering gear room. This is the control module using hydraulics, which controls the rudder basically. We have the engine room workshop where all the welding etc. gets done. They have to make metal parts. Over in the corner there is the escape trunk in the event of an emergency. Here's the engine, 5 cylinders. It's a Wärtsilä engine, I believe, made in Finland. And that big pipe is the exhaust, which goes out the back of the smokestack. Up here we've got the 3 Yanmar diesel generators. The word speaks for itself, creates power for the ship. We won't go in here. Looks like they've just been painting, so yeah, we don't want to get paint on our shoes. Let's make our way to the bottom floor of the engine room. We have the pipe duct tunnel hatch cover, which is closed during the entire voyage. Now we'll go up to the stern of the ship, the rear of the engine room. We have the drive shaft, which in turn spins the propeller out the back and pushes us through the water. As I said before, it is quite hot in here. Alright, we're now on the upper deck, or the ground floor, so to speak. We've got the air conditioning room. This is what keeps the vessel cold and at a comfortable temperature. Let's have a look at inside the hallway. We've got the crew's changing rooms, locker rooms. That's the access to the engine room, which we just checked out before. The engine office. We've got the hospital and the medicine locker. We're now entering the crew's laundry for washing overalls and their clothes. And the drying room. Things actually dry pretty fast in there. Last but not least, we have the onboard gymnasium. It's small but functional and practical. We've got a weight machine and an exercise bike. Okay, let's make our way to the outside area of the upper deck. We're now on the outside of the upper deck. On the starboard side or right hand side, we have a hydraulically operated gangway for embarking and disembarking. Now we're entering the provision handling space, which has the refrigerator, freezer and vegetable storage. This is the dry storage, flour, sugar, etc., canned food. That's the bonded store, or for the slop chest as they call it on board. And here are the three refrigerated areas: freezer, a fridge and a vegetable store. Okay, let's take a more in-depth look at the outside of the upper deck. We're on the starboard side. There's the hydraulically operated gangway, as I mentioned before, for embarking and disembarking. And to the right there is the provision store, which I showed earlier. Now we're on the stern of the ship. At the rear, we have the mooring ladders for securing the vessel when it's at berth. Here we have the aft deck store, where they store some paint. There's also a storage room at the front of the vessel. The bosun store on the forecastle. This is the quick release lifeboat. Touch wood, it never has to be used. The muster station for assembly in an emergency. That's the access to the steering gear room and engine room, where we had a tour of before. And now we're coming around to the port side of the vessel. Basically the same as the starboard side. It's got a few other rooms: CO2 room, firefighting room with firefighting equipment and protective gear. The port side also has a hydraulically operated gangway for embarking and disembarking. That's access to get inside of the upper deck. And here is the tally office. This is where the crew usually meet before they go out to work at 8 o'clock in the morning. And here's our cargo up close. Pine logs destined for South Korea. Serving up lunch for shortly. Good food on board. The food's good on board, the crew are happy. Alright, grub's up. Looks like we got chicken, vegetables, some more vegetables. This steamed bread. The chef makes it from scratch. Absolutely delicious. And we have, looks like some vegetable and egg soup. How's the taste test? Oh yeah, that's good. Not bad. So, day 2 of sailing past Papua. We passed New Ireland this morning at about 10 AM. Lost signal after that, unfortunately. Just off to the left here, I got Tench Island, or Anusi Island. Flip the camera to try and get a closer look. About 35 degrees today. A bit cloudy. Had a bit of rain this morning, but it's pretty much cleared. Yeah, there's Anusi Island. Supposedly it's got about 100 people on there. Local, the natives. See some houses on the left hand side there. Some coral reef surrounding it. Probably about 2 degrees south of the equator now. Just under 2 degrees. Be arriving into South Korea, I think 9th of July. Okay, how goes the journey so far? We are about 814 miles from reaching South Japan. That's 74 hours to go, and just under 1,400 nautical miles from reaching Gunsan in Korea. We have 2 vessels near us. Waco Malu and STI Bronx. Can't see the other vessel. I think he's over in the clouds there somewhere, but there's the other ship. It's like a bulk. What type of ship is that? Can't really see it. So we are on the bridge with third officer. Yo, Alfredo. Had a couple of people in the comments section, they've asked me what I'm doing on board these vessels. To put it in perspective, I am a fumigator. My responsibility on board is topping up more fumigant into the cargo holds. After about a week after departure, and 11 days after that, I'll do the ventilation procedure to let the gas escape prior to berthing at port of discharge. And daily checks inside, making sure no false vent gas is coming into the accommodation, locking all the crew is safe. Yeah, I hope that answers your questions. Do appreciate you guys watching my videos and giving you guys a glimpse into what life is like on board these cargo vessels. If you do like my content, please subscribe, and do like the video, leave a comment. Thank you very much. We'll see you on the next video.